The 22nd seed was 12-9 this year. And even though the records were fairly similar, the Bay Diggers played in the tougher league out of the Patriot League, which is why they're the higher seed and will be the designated home team for this contest today here in Strasbourg. And we're going to have a gorgeous day. It's already been a gorgeous day, as the game will start here in just a couple of minutes. And the game time temperature is 57 degrees. It does feel warmer with the sun in full force. It'll be Braylon Rule, the veteran right-hander who pitched a lot for Brush last year. In fact, through the majority of the innings, getting the start here on and in the circle for Brush. The winner to play at 2:30 against Strasbourg. We might start this game a few minutes early, scheduled for a 12:15 start, but was
Game 2, the regional.
Starting lineups will be introduced here momentarily.
Some softballs for these guys. We'll do some lineups.
And let's bring you the starting lineup here for the visiting team, which on the board is Strasburg. Batting first is the pitcher, Sierra Finn. The second hitter is the shortstop, Natalie Peters. The center fielder, Hayden Peebles, hits third. The cleanup hitter is the third baseman, Layla Pate. Batting fifth is the first baseman, Kayla Peters. The sixth hitter is the catcher, Nevin Pritchard. Batting seventh is the second baseman, Serenity Ford. The eighth hitter is the left fielder, Jordan Feith. And batting ninth for James Irwin, the right fielder, Sarah Quinones Colon. When the Bay Diggers take the field, we will take you through those Bay Diggers defensively.
Number 10, junior, Nevada. Freshman number 5, Sarah Becker. Number 14, freshman, Molly Wolf. And number 24, freshman, Cody Holdren. All right, let's meet the starters for James Irwin. They got a pitcher, senior, number 8, Sierra Finn. Shortstop, number 1, sophomore, Natalie Peters. Number 18, senior, center fielder, Hayden Peebles. Number 17, senior, Leah Payette, playing third base. On first base, number 2, senior, Kayla Peters. Their catcher, number 7, sophomore, Nevin Pritchard. Senior, second base, number 9, Serenity Ford. Junior, number 10, left fielder, Jordan Feith. And right fielder, number 5, sophomore, Sarah Quinones. They're coached by Steve Finn. All right, to beat junior, Olivia Jalick. In center field, number 11, junior, Keeley Langford. Their catcher, number 22, a junior, Amaya Bruno. And in right field, junior, number 20, Delaney Draggart. The Bulldogs are coached. Did I say Bulldogs? I'm sorry, Coach Odell. They're coached. The Beat Diggers are coached by Tom Bulldog Odell. All right. If everybody please rise and face that flag in center field, we'll play our national anthem.
Let's take a break. We'll come back right here on 1010 KSLR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Sean Beltran back in Strasbourg. We've had a couple of connection issues, even though we were here just on September 28th with no issues whatsoever. And hopefully we won't have any throughout the course of the game. As James Irwin will be getting first ups in this elimination game, 11 versus 22. The opening pitch today is brought to you by Buildings by Design. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. That is Buildings by Design. This team is hitting .397. James Irwin is during the regular season. And here we go with Sierra Finn.
No, Chester doesn't allow walk-up songs in the regionals.
Hitting for the right. And the offering. And that is a strike on the outer half, a ball and a strike. To Sierra Finn. There's the pitch. And that would hit her in the back. Lower back, and it's a hit-by pitch on the third pitch of the game. And that's the way this game starts here from Strasburg.
At the plate for the Jaguars, shortstop, sophomore, number 1, Natalie Peters.
Here's a sophomore, Natalie Peters. Hitting .400 going into this game. A very good regular season for Peters. Looks like Finn is okay at first. Another right-handed hitter here for James Irwin. Here's the wind and pitch, and that is inside, a ball and no strikes. The B-Diggers defensively have Olivia Gillick at first. The second is right there for a strike. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Natalie Peters, just underway. A runner on for James Irwin after the hit by pitch of Sierra Finn. And the offering. That's up and away. Count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking in his roll and the pitch. That is right there for a strike on the inner half. Called strike 3. Peters goes down looking. And 1 down for Hayden Peebles.
At the plate for James Irwin, number 18, senior center fielder Hayden Peebles.
The senior hitting for the right side, batting .475. These girls can stroke at the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Didn't even take a step there. No balls and 1 strike. That was an arm swing. That doesn't look like a .475 hitter. I mean, did not even move the left foot. That was purely arms. .458 is the average for Pyatt. First and second with 1 out off the base hit from Hayden Peebles. Just underway an elimination game here from Strasbourg. And Braylon Rule, the right-hander, delivers. That is right there for a strike on the inner half belt high. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. With 2 on and 1 out. It was a strikeout here a couple of seconds ago, and that pitch is upstairs. Count levels at 1-1. Yeah, let's see some of the competition for James Irwin this year to give you an idea. And the pitch. And that is outside. They played in the Tri-Peaks League with Rocky Ford. That was a team that Brush eliminated last year. And Alamosa, which lost earlier today. James Irwin finished 4th in that league. 2-1 pitch. Right down the middle for a strike. La Junta won that league 7-0 for that if this game goes quickly. We started about 5 minutes early. Swing and a miss on an inside heater. And Pyatt goes down swinging. 2 down. Big pitch there.
For the Jaguars, first base senior number 2, Keeley Peters.
Yeah, so they played Florence, Dolores Huerta Prep, Wiley, Alamosa, Rocky Ford, Lamar, La Junta. That was the league for James Irwin. The pitch, and that is low. 1 ball and no strikes to the left-handed hitting Keeley Peters. We'll check out her numbers here momentarily. And the 1-0 pitch. That is outside, ball 2. Let's see, looks like 377 hitter. And if she could pull it, she could score a run here. First and second, 2 down, the offering. That is below the knees. 3-0, that's the thing with Braylon. Sometimes she has no idea where that ball's going. 10 strikes and 9 balls to this point in the first. And the bases are loaded. The pitch upstairs. One ball and no strikes. And the pitch. And that is down and in. Two and 0. The pitch, swing, and a foul. Two balls and 1 strike. With the bases loaded and 2 down. And the offering. Right there for a strike on the outer half. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inside, it's a bases-loaded walk. Finn scores. It's 1-0. Yeah, we're going to alter location here with some dropouts.
Senior number 9, Serenity Ford.
And Serenity Ford will step in. Let's see if we have any luck here. And the pitch is a strike. No idea what's causing the interference. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Serenity Ford. Swung on and tapped foul up the third base side. And the count is at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. B-Diggers looking to get out of the jam. Called strike 3. And that does it. A run in the inning. As the bases were left loaded. All right, again, we're changing location here. Swung on and driven down the right field line for a base hit on the first pitch of the bottom of the first inning by Avery Lefevre. And we're going to try to avoid connection issues. For some reason, we had no trouble here September 28th, but for now we've had a couple of issues, so we apologize, and we'll do our best to bring this game uninterrupted. It's a base hit for Lefevre, 1-0 James Irwin here in the bottom of the first inning on a bases-loaded walk. And a nice job of going the other way there by Lefevre. And the pitch. And that is taken for a ball by Braylon Rule. 1 ball and no strikes. And there was a stolen base, a delayed steal there by Lefevre. So all of a sudden, she is in scoring position as Braylon Rule. Another big year for her. Looking to tie the game for the B-Diggers. And the second baseman is Serenity Ford. Over at third is Layla Pilot. Natalie Peters at short. Jordan Feith is in left. Hayden Peebles in center. The pitch. And that is low for the pitcher, Sierra Finn. Sarah Quinones in right. Nevin Pritchard is behind the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. And again, that was a fly out by the second hitter, Braylon Rule, to center. And the pitch. And that one is down. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Check it. 2-0. 2-0 to Holdren. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Count now sitting at 2-1 to Harley Holdren. She led the team with 23 RBIs this season. Big, strong hitter for Brush. Wine in the pitch. Swung on and lifted into left center field. Could be a routine play. Trying to spot the ball. And it's over the left fielder's glove. That's going to tie the game. After the strikeout of Holdren, Mason Unrein's going to reach on the error by the left fielder, Feith. Lefevre scores. It's tied at 1. A routine play. Couldn't make the play.
For the Beat Diggers, shortstop, number 6, junior, Carly Tatalini.
Here's Carly Tatalini, the pitch. And that bounces in and bounces away. 1 ball and no strikes. And then a wild throw to third. Rounding third is Mason Unrein. She will score. And the pitch. A strike on the inside corner. We will relocate even more. We're just trying to find a signal or a spot that's not going to interrupt the signal here. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. Down and away. Sitting at 2-1. We'll do that right between innings here. See what we can come up with. And the offering. That's upstairs. We're going to try to reset in the outfield, see if that cleans up the signal at all. And the signal's clear. It's just we're having some drops out here in Strasbourg. 3-1. And the offering swung on and grounded foul. 2-1 Brush, bottom of the first inning. In scoring position. Yeah, we might have to go back to the original spot from 9:28, but that one is even more distant from where we are now. Here's Olivia Gillick hitting for the right side. 2-1 Brush, bottom of the first inning in this regional softball semifinal. The winner to take on Strasburg. A 12-0 winner over Alamosa earlier today. And the pitch upstairs. Delaney stays put at second. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Delaney will score. The B-Diggers now lead 3-1. Stolen base and an error. Second error of the inning. And Brush now with a 3-1 lead. Gillick up there with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Here against the right-hander, Sierra Finn. And the pitch. That bounces to the plate. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the offering, very high, 3-2. To Olivia Gillick. And the pitch swung on and chopped left side. That'll be a base hit into left field. The shortstop, Peters, to her right, could not make the play. The B-Diggers only have 2 hits in the inning, but have 3 runs.
Coming to the plate for Brush, center fielder, junior number 11, Keeley Langford.
Here's Keeley Langford for the B-Diggers. I know I haven't updated you on averages so far this year, but with the signal issues, we're trying to work out some kinks here, which it's up to me at this point. The pitch, and that is a strike. Inside corner, runner to second to throw, and Gillick is in there with a stolen base. No balls and 1 strike with a runner in scoring position. 3-1 B-Diggers here in the bottom of the first inning. Langford awaits the pitch. Here it is. Now we had an errant play there a second ago.
At the plate for Brush, catcher.
And the B-Diggers now lead 4-1 on a misplay by the pitcher, Sierra Finn. Again, we will be trying to relocate here and clean up a signal that is giving us some issues. 4-1 Brush here in the bottom of the first inning. We apologize for what has transpired so far with this. The pitch swung on and chopped left side. That could be trouble. Dropped by the third baseman. That'll be an error as reaching is Amaya Bruno. Throw to third gets away. That's going to be a double error as it was thrown down the left field line, and Brush leads 5-1. Wow. This is getting to be a mess for James Irwin. 5-1. And the B-Diggers have a runner at second. And they have benefited from 6 errors in the inning. This could be a quick game, a really quick game. Check it out once again. Equitable Savings and Loan bringing you the B-Diggers starting lineup.
Number 13, Reese Lambert, freshman, in the run for the catcher. At the plate for Brush, junior number 20, right fielder, Delaney Draggart.
Here's Delaney Draggart with the B-Diggers up by a score of 5-1 in the bottom of the first inning. With a runner at second. 9th hitter of the inning, and the pitch is upstairs. A ball and no strikes. And the pitch swung on and chopped left side. That could be trouble. Picked up by Pyatt. Throw to first is going to be in time, though. And that finally does it for the B-Diggers, but they scored 5 runs, and they do it. All right, now we're back. We had lost you there for a second. Delaney makes the catch.
Number 8, senior Sierra Finn at the plate.
So there's 1 down. The opening hitter, Jordan Feith, was hit by a 1-1 pitch, and then Quinones popped out to the shortstop. The pitch is a strike. Sierra Finn hit by a pitch first time up. Let's recap. 5-1 Brush here in this regional semifinal over James Irwin after 1 inning. And the offering. Upstairs, Braylon Rules hit 2 batters in this game, the leadoff hitter in each inning. A ball and a strike. Here in the top of the second inning with a winner to advance against Strasburg, which beat Alamosa 12-0. Swing and a miss and a pitch tailing away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The winner again to play at 2:30. The pitch swung on and lifted slowly towards the shortstop. Tatalini takes a bounce throw to first. Is going to be late. It'll be an infield hit on that soft liner. And Finn beats it out. First and second with 1 out for Natalie Peters. And now Tom Odell will have a conference on the hill. And again, Braylon has not brought her A game on in the circle. 5-1, the Beat Diggers do lead, but a little bit of trouble here as James Irwin is threatening in the second. But the Jaguars have got to clean up their defense. That's been a problem. A significant problem so far. Peters struck out looking her first time up. So Peters steps in. And the pitch. That is a strike. At the letters, it's 0-1. First and second, 1 out, top 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the offering. Swung on and grounded slowly. The short second baseman, Lefevre, steps on the bag for the force out. First and third with 2 down. 4 unassisted. On the ground ball hit by Natalie Peters.
Number 18, Hayden Peebles.
Hayden Peebles had a single her first time up. If she does that again, it would score a run. And the pitch. Swung on and driven in the air towards right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. That's going to score feet from third base. Natalie Peters to third. It's an RBI single for Hayden Peebles. And the Beat Digger lead is down to 3. It's 5-2. And just like that, Hayden Peebles is 2 for 2.
Senior, third base, number 17, Layla Payette.
Here's Lola. No balls and 2 strikes to Layla Payette. The pitch. Swung on. That ball's grounded sharply to short. Tatalini has it. Throw to first is in time. Nice play by the shortstop, Carly Tatalini. And the Beat Diggers get out of that jam. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. The Beat Diggers in this regional softball semifinal lead James Irwin by a score of 5-2 on 1010 KSIR, KSIR.com, and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. The Beat Diggers have capitalized on 6 errors in the first inning by James Irwin to lead this regional softball semifinal 5-2. And once again, we are working on trying to keep our signal on air throughout the course of the entire game. And then obviously for the second game against Strasbourg, assuming the Beat Diggers hold on. They batted all 9 in the first inning. Here's Avery Lefevre. She had a base hit and scored in the bottom of the first.
Second base, number 3, Avery Lefevre at the plate.
Stepping in for the right side. The pitch. Upstairs from Sierra Finn. The 1-1 after the foul ball. Hit by Lefevre. The pitch. Upstairs. Ball 2, strike 1. 5-2 brush, bottom of the second inning. The pitch. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. That could be trouble. That's going to drop for a base hit as the ball nearly drifted into foul territory. Lefevre is now 2 for 2.
Hitting for the Beat Diggers.
Both teams now have 3 hits in the game.
Braylon Rule.
And here is Braylon Rule, who popped the center first time up. Pitch. And that one bounces in. It'll be a steal. It's a ball and a strike. A steal for Lefevre of second base. Rush looking for another big inning after scoring 5 in the first. And the offering. swung on and lifted in the air into left field. That's got carried to it way back, and it is a leaping grab there by Feith. She didn't have to leap, but she caught it anyway. Tagging up and going to third is Lefevre. It's one down. One down for Harley Holdren.
Hitting for Brush. Left fielder.
Holdren struck out swinging her first time up.
Holdren.
And the pitch swung on. It's to Unrein. Up and away. Unrein reached on an error and scored. We just had a line drive out there hit by Harley Holdren, is 0 for 2. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. That is a terrible swing and a terrible pitch. I don't know what Mason was doing there. That was not even close to the strike zone. That was like helmet high. 1-1. 5-2 Brush, bottom of the second inning against James Irwin. The offering swung on. That is lined up the middle for a base hit. That was in the strike zone. Scoring is Lefevre. Unrein with the RBI single. 6-2 Brush. Carly Tadolini walked.
Junior shortstop, number 6, Carly.
And
Tadolini.
scored in the first. The right-hander Sierra finished on 38. No balls and 1 strike. Wine and offering. Swung on, grounded right field. Base hit beyond the lunging Serenity Ford. Around third is Unrein. She will score. That's 2 out RBI base hits for the Bee Diggers. 7-2. Crossing home plate, Tadolini. And we will go to a different connection here right after this inning is over.
At the plate for Brush. First base,
Here's Olivia Jillick.
Olivia Jillick.
It'll be as crystal clear. It'll just have a different sound to it, but it'll keep us on here for the remainder of the day. Jillick singled her first time up. The pitch. Swinging a foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. So once we get to the third, you'll still get me on air. No balls and 1 strike to Jillick. The pitch. Taken inside. Stolen base for Tadolini. No throw. 7-2 Brush. Bottom of the second inning. Could be an abbreviated game in this elimination game with the winner to take on Strasbourg at 2:30. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a pitch tailing away. 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Keeley Langford is on deck. The offering. Changeup, swing and a miss. Jillick strikes out. And the Bee Diggers are done in the inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 1 left. We'll head to the third inning from Strasbourg High School in this race.
John Beltran back at Strasbourg High School. 1 ball and no strikes, and the pitch is swung on and chopped left side. Shortstop Tadolini, long throw to first, is going to be in time. Well, that's a nice play by Tadolini. She played some solid short today. And the first hitter of the top of the third inning is retired. This will keep us on air. And
Catcher, number 7.
there's 1 down here in the third. Keeley Peters now 0 for 1. Well, that's the first time that the Bee Diggers have retired the first hitter. Braylon Rule hit the first hitter in the first 2 innings. That's a strike to Nevin Pritchard, who walked her first time up. Get the line score. The Bee Diggers, 7 runs on 5 hits. No errors, 2 runs, 3 hits, 6 miscues for James Irwin on the first inning. They've stranded 5. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. The Bee Diggers hoping for hopefully a 5-inning victory. They can save their players a bit. And the offering. That is outside. Ball 1, strike 2. To Nevin Pritchard. In the top of the third inning, the 11 seed Brush leading the 22nd seed James Irwin by 5 runs. The offering. That is outside again. Ball 2, strike 2. Brush at 13-10 going in, and James Irwin 12 wins and 9 losses. The pitch. Below the knees. That's 3 in a row thrown out of the strike zone by Braylon Rule. It was 57 degrees at first pitch. Now it's 63 with a slight breeze. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Rule comes home. Swing and a miss. A beautiful letter high strike. 2 down. Heck of a pitch there by Braylon Rule. As Nevin Pritchard goes down swinging. Here's Serenity Ford. She struck out looking her first time up. And the pitch. That is upstairs. A ball and no strikes. Braylon Rule has struck out 4, has walked 2 and hit 2 batters. It's been a mixed bag with 2 down and the bases empty. That's right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Digger football team, from what I understand, was awarded a forfeit victory against Sterling. And the pitch swung on and tapped foul at the end of the bat. We knew they weren't going to play last night against Sterling, but it goes down as a forfeit with the Bee Diggers now at 5-2, winners of 4 in a row, as their next game is coming up Thursday. It's a Thursday game at home against Fort Lupton. We'll have it right here on 1010 KSIR. And the pitch outside. Ball 2, strike 2. To Serenity Ford. And the pitch swung on and hit off the end of the bat right back to the pitcher Rule, and she throws to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning. 2 1/2 innings are in the books here in Strasbourg in this regional softball semifinal. And the Bee Diggers are in control over James Irwin, 7-2 on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Are you predicting cold winter, Ted?
John Beltran back waiting from Strasburg. You might notice a different signal. We had trouble holding our conventional signal, so to keep us on air, we always have Plan B. The Bee Diggers lead James Irwin 7-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brush scored 5 in the 1st and 2 in the 2nd.
The Bee Diggers.
And here is Keeley Langford.
Keeley Langford.
Langford hit it right back to the mound, and an errant misplay and a bad throw as well. 2 errors in the play, so she reached and scored. And the pitch swung on and chopped to third. Pyatt has it, throws to first, and Langford is out number 1. Foot on the bag there for Keeley Peters. Retired on 1 pitch. Langford is 0 for 2. Straight up at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm John Beltran. This is 1010 KSIR. Raj Fort Morgan Weldona, KSIR.com, and 1010 KSIR on the TuneIn app as well. Amaya Bruno reached in an air. Swung on, popped up, foul territory, right side. First baseman Peters along the line did not make the play. I'm not sure what happened there. It was about 15 to 20 feet down the line, and I have no idea why that play was not made, but it just bounced. So it's just a strike. No error. She was not completely under it, but I thought she had plenty of time to make the play. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Amaya Bruno. Let's see if Bruno can make James Irwin pay. And the offering. And that bounces to Pritchard. Just looking to absorb the blow in the 1st inning for James Irwin. The Jaguars just did not play good defense, and that's why Brush has a 7-2 lead in the bottom of the 3rd with 1 out and the bases empty. The pitch swung on, lined, base hit into left center field, and Amaya Bruno does make James Irwin pay for the miscue. That's the 6th hit for Brush, and the Bee Diggers have 1 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here for the number 9 hitter, Delaney Draggart. Lisa Lambert
The Bee Diggers. Right fielder, junior, number 20, Delaney
is at first base, running for Amaya Bruno. Draggart steps in. She grounded out her first time. The pitch, swing and a miss. A late swing and a ball at the knees. Throw back to first. Back in standing is Lambert. No balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Brush leads James Irwin 7-2. The offering. Swung on, that is popped up in the infield. The shortstop is going to take care of that, and that is Natalie Peters. on the pitch that jammed Delaney Draggart. 2 down. Back to first is Lambert. I'm telling you, James Irwin starting to hold their own after that rough first inning. Avery Lefevre has been a terror
Number 3, Avery
for Brush. 2 for 2. Couple of singles to right field, 2 runs scored. With a runner at first and 2 down, the offering. Bounces in, bounces away, but it's a steal anyway for Lambert. She was taking off. So now she's in scoring position. Both Brush runs in the second inning scored on 2-out RBI singles. So they did earn those runs. Because you look at the line right now for the starter, Sierra Finn. She's given up 7 runs, only 2 earned. That bounces in. Nice play. Throw to third. It goes off the bat of Lefevre. She was in the batter's box, so that's not a violation of the hitter. That'll be a steal, and it's 2-0. Yeah, had that ball gone off the bat and Lefevre was out of the batter's box, that might have been something against the hitter, but not there. She stayed in the box. It's a stolen base for Risa Lambert. 2 balls and no strikes. Sierra Finn, the right-hander, in the circle. Comes home high. 3 balls and no strikes. Finn so far has struck out 2 and walked 1. So she's been in control for the most part. 32 strikes, 21 balls. The offering. Change up, a strike on the inner half. Ball 3, strike 1. To Avery Lefevre. At third base is Risa Lambert. And the pitch. That's high. Lefevre's on base for the 3rd time as she walks. So first and third with 2 down for Braylon Rule. Rule popped to center and popped to left. I mean, Braylon's got to keep the ball out of the air. That's the problem. She's trying to lift it. If she wants to lift it, it better go over the fence. And the pitch. And check swing foul. And that's the one thing. She is not allowing those pitches down in the zone as the ones that she wants to swing at. Everything is up, and she's swinging underneath a softball. No balls and 1 strike. 7-2 Brush. 2 on, 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning in Strasbourg against the 22nd seed James Irwin. The pitch. Inside. Stolen base of second with no throw for Lefevre. The Bay Diggers looking for another inning with at least a couple of runs. A base hit will score both. 1-1. The offering. Swung on and fouled again. That pitch is up at the wrists and about letter high. 1-2. Yeah, if she can get something down in the zone, Braylon's got such a nice swing. It'll score 2, but everything is up, and she's swinging at those. The pitch. Foul to the screen on a very good changeup by Finn. Nice job of Braylon Rule keeping those hands back. That was a superb job. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Brush up by 5, bottom of the 3rd inning. And the offering swung on. That ball's grounded to short and bobbled out there. Throw to first is going to be late. And now to third is Lefevre. No throw. That'll be an error. The 7th for James Irwin. No RBI as scoring is Lambert. The Beat Diggers now lead 8-2. On the misplay by Peters.
Left fielder, senior number 2, Harley.
I mean, it was hit pretty hard. Got a little bit inside on Rule. Harley Holdren has struck out and lined out. 0 for 2 in the game. Brush looking to go up by 7 or 8. The pitch. Swung on and grounded to third. Pyatt has it, throw to first, and that is right there. And retired is Harley Holdren, and now she is 0 for 3. That is rare for Harley Holdren. The Beat Diggers in the inning. A run on a hit, 1 error, and 2 left. The Beat Diggers are in control in this regional softball semifinal as they lead after 3 over James Irwin. 8-2 on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back at Strasburg for the 11 versus 22 game. It will be a 6-11 game. The 6th seed Strasburg and the Beat Diggers hold on, but right now there's no need to hold on. They're up 8-2 in the top of the 4th inning, and Braylon Rule by far threw her best inning in the 3rd when she retired the side in order. It'll be the 8-9-1 hitters for James Irwin, Jordan Feith, Sarah Quinones Colon, and Sierra Finn. And Rule is on a little bit of a roll here. As she has retired the last 4 hitters. Yeah, a true roll will be about 6 or 7 in a row.
Junior number 10, Jordan Feast.
Jordan Feast led off the second inning. She was hit by a pitch. Hopefully Braylon has found her stuff, and the Beat Diggers can win this in abbreviated fashion. Up 8-2 in the 4th inning as the wind now picks up on the 63-degree Saturday afternoon in Strasbourg. And the pitch, swing and a miss, and no balls and a strike. Check that. That's Mason Unrein now out there, and I just spotted her right now. So Unrein in the circle, Rules at short, Tatalini at third. There you go. And a pitch swung on and driven down the left field line. That's twisting foul, and it is 0-2. Braylon Rule will only be the winning pitcher if this game goes 5 innings. If it goes beyond that, that'll go here to Mason Unrein, who feels very comfortable in the circle here with the game she pitched. And the offering. And that is a changeup down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brush scored 5 in the first, 2 runs in the second, and a run in the third. 8-2. The pitch. Upstairs, James Irwin scored their lone runs. Well, a run in the first, 1 in the second. They did have a 1-0 lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mason Unrein delivers. Swung on, pop foul, not a play. Behind the screen, and the count remains at 2-2. Second game will follow about 20 to 25 minutes after this one is done. And it would be Brush and Strasburg unless James Irwin comes with a major rally, and that one is very high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mason had an outing recently against Eaton that was a nightmare. Couldn't get through the first inning, but she also has a perfect game against Valley, so she wants to be more consistent. And the pitch, swing and a miss, a beautiful heater on the inner half, and it's a strikeout. And 1 down as Feith goes down. Here's Quinones Colon, who popped to the shortstop. It was Tatalini earlier in the game. Nice job of Mason Unrein getting that first out. And Mason comes home. Swing and a miss and a pitch up and away. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, James Irwin did have that brief 1-0 lead. The offering swung on and lifted left side foul territory, and it's out of play as Tatalini gave chase. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, not a pretty first inning for James Irwin, when Brush scored 5 runs on a couple of hits and 6 errors, including multiple errors on 1 play. The pitch, swing and a miss, and Quinones Colon strikes out. 2 strikeouts to begin the 4th inning for Mason Unrein in her first full inning of work.
Senior pitcher number 8, Sierra Finn.
Sierra Finn hit by a pitch and single. She's been on base twice. Tall right-handed hitter of the pitch, and that bounces in on the changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Sierra Finn. With 2 down and the bases empty, and the offering upstairs, 2-0. Don't want to walk a hitter with the bases empty. 6 in a row. Retired by Beat Digger pitching. Woo, you can tell right there. We're covering up the mic, too. That's a strike. 2-1. Here to Sierra Finn. And the pitch swung on and lifted right side. Second baseman Lefebvre still coming, and makes the running catch. It's another 1-2-3 inning. In the third, it was Braylon Rule. In the fourth, it's Mason Unrein. 3 1/2 innings are in the books in this regional softball semifinal from Strasbourg. It's the 11th seed Brush leading the 22nd seed James Irwin 8-2 on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Theater Strategy. Toyota, for our great escape. Try the sporty Camry, the elegant Venza, the
ASIR.
All right, let's head now to the bottom of the fourth inning, where the Beet Diggers lead the game by a score of 8-2 here over James Irwin. Well, right now the Beet Diggers can score 4 runs and hold James Irwin. This game would be over that quickly.
Number 9, third base, Mason Unrein.
Here is Mason Unrein. Unrein had an RBI single her last time up the pitch, swing and a miss. She also was on via the error. No balls and a 1 strike. Line and pitch. And that's in the dirt. Count levels at 1-1. Yeah, we're also conducting a little experiment here to see if we can somehow get back on via the traditional method, swinging a foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to Mason Unrein. And that one is rolled in like a bowling ball. Slipped out of the hands of Sierra Finn. It is 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Apparently got a scoreboard miscue there. And the pitch. Swung on and chopped foul along the third base side. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Mason Unrein to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. The Beet Diggers with an 8-2 lead over James Irwin. In what is an elimination game. And the pitch. That one bounces in. Now the count is full at 3-2. Well, just as I said that, I don't think our experiment's going to work out like I thought. But as long as we're on, that's what matters. Swung on, grounded sharply, base hit in left field, and Mason Unrein now 2 for 3 after scorching that ball in between the shortstop and third baseman. And as the wind continues to kick up here in Strasbourg, the Beet Diggers now have 7 hits in the game, including a leadoff single by Unrein in the fourth.
That plays the Beet Diggers. Third base, junior number 6, Carly Delaney.
That'll send up Carly Tatalini, who's walked and singled. Let's see, has she scored both times she's been on base? Hitting from the left side. That one bounces in. That'll be a steal for Unrein. She was going anyway. The ball deflects off the glove of the catcher, Pritchard. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, James Irwin's got incredible fan support out here. They have come to root on this team. Tatalini has scored once in a game, 2 runs apiece for Lefebvre, and that one bounces away, and Mason Unrein. And speaking of Unrein, she's now at third on the wild pitch. Sierra Finn has thrown 70 pitches, 42 for strikes and 28 for balls. Count is sitting at 2 balls and no strikes. And the delivery. Swung on, popped up way out in front. The third baseman, Pyatt, is going to make the catch along the third base line, coming in a few steps, and there's 1 down. Tatalini had to wait on that pitch and did not. And she is retired for the first time in the game.
Base, junior number 7, Olivia Jalik.
Here's Olivia Jillick. Singled and struck out. She is 1 for 2. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Bee Digger pitching has really come through here recently. They've retired 7 Jaguars in a row, including some strikeouts by Braylon Rule and then Mason Unrein, who came in to pitch in the 4th inning. And the offering. And that one to the screen. No advance there by the runner at third. And check that. That's Hernandez at third. I should have mentioned that. I didn't see Unrein being replaced. But that is Alicia Hernandez, now the courtesy runner at third. 1 ball and 1 strike. 8-2 Brush, bottom of the 4th inning. The pitch swung on. That is lifted into shallow left center field. The shortstop, as the ball is going to be caught out there with a wind blowing the softball in. Natalie Peters makes the play. She took 2 steps back and then had to come in. That wind is blowing in. And Gillick unable to deliver.
Number 11,
Keeley Langford has reached on an error and then grounded to third. 0 for 2 for the junior. And the pitch. Extremely high. 1 ball and no strikes. The Bee Diggers scored 5 runs in the 1st inning. 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. So they could be shut down here in the 4th. And Finn comes home. Swung on, grounded up the middle. Second baseman to her right. That's not going to be a play. No throw, but it'll be a base hit to Serenity Ford. Went to her right. Had it in her glove, then squirted it out of the glove, but Keeley would have beat that out easily. 9-2. Hernandez scores, and the Bee Diggers lead by 7.
22, catcher, junior, Amaya Bruno.
Amaya Bruno aboard twice, an error and a single. 1 for 2 officially. And the offering. Strike down the middle. Langford to second. The throw is going to be in on a hop and late. An easy steal for the speedy Langford. No balls and 1 strike. The Bee Diggers have scored in every inning. 5 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd, 1 here in the 4th. And Bruno up there with a 1 ball, no strike count. The pitch swung on and fouled to the backstop. And the count levels at 1-1. On pitch number 78, thrown by Sierra Finn. Delaney Draggart waits to hit next. And the offering swung on, pops up on the changeup behind the plate. The catcher, Pritchard, runs out of room. It's out of play. Ball 1, strike 2.
2 hits.
One ball and 2 strikes to Amaya Bruno. First Bee Digger run of the game brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants. Get your project started the right way. Strong commitment to their clients' needs sets them apart. Western Engineering Consultants swung on, grounded, second base. Throw to first is going to be high, and it's going to go up against the dugout. Langford's going to score, and to second is Bruno. That'll be an error on the second baseman, Serenity Ford, and the Bee Diggers now lead 10-2. A routine grounder made the play, but then the throw sailed over Peters' glove.
Pretty surrender in his game, Reese Lambert.
No RBI, another unearned run.
At the plate for the Bee Diggers, right fielder, junior, number 20, Delaney Draggart.
Risa Lambert, the courtesy runner at second. With a 10-2 lead. Let's check out what Draggart has done today. The pitch is swung on, grounded slowly to short. Charging, throwing to first is Peters. And there is the out, and Delaney Draggart is now 0 for 3 in the game. For the Bee Diggers in the 4th inning, 2 runs on 2 hits. James Irwin committed another error, and there was 1 left. 4 complete. The Bee Diggers are in control as they lead James Irwin after 4, 10-2 on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Education is the best way to build a stronger foundation for you and your family. Start on the path to a new career with MCC. MCC has a...
It's the Brush Bee Diggers on, and 10-8.
Let's head to the 5th inning. The Bee Diggers lead 10-2 over James Irwin in this 11-22 matchup in the regional softball semifinals.
Sophomore Natalie Peters.
2 runs by the Bee Diggers will win this game if they hold James Irwin in check. Part of the order for James Irwin, Natalie Peters, who struck out and hit into a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss, let her high. It's 0-1. Mason Unrein struck out 2 of the 3 hitters she faced in the 4th inning after she came in for Braylon Rule, who's now at short. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Pitch was on the outer half. It's 0-2. Took something off of that. The Bay Diggers with 10 runs on 8 hits, no errors, 5 left on base, 2 runs, 3 hits, 8 errors, and 5 left on base for the Jaguars. The pitch. That is just up and away. That was close. That did miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Peters, Peebles, and Pyatt. The pitch. Down and in. And the count levels at 2-2 to Natalie Peters. Leading off here on the top of the 5th inning. The offering swung on and fouled off her foot. Pitch was down and in. That would have been ball 3. But I guess you don't want to take a chance. Three balls, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch upstairs. Count now goes to 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. And the offering. That is right down the middle. Mason Unrein on a 3-2 pitch strikes out Natalie Peters. 1 out. And I can't believe she took that pitch, and that was a little bit of a changeup. Not a complete changeup, just took something off of that one. Here is Hayden Peebles, who singled twice. And the offering. Swung on, popped up, and that is out of play right behind us here up the third base side. So this is the hitter to get out. She has 2 of the 3 hits for James Irwin. What was she hitting going into this game? It had to be obviously very good. And the pitch. Change-up is upstairs. Let's see, Hayden Peebles going into the game, batting .475. And that's the team lead. The pitch. High. Ball 2, strike 1. Regardless of what happens here, both teams will finish with winning records. Even if James Irwin goes down, they're 12-9 going in. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Swung on and fisted foul up the third base side over the dugout occupied by James Irwin. It's 2-2. The Bay Diggers will have to switch dugouts. I believe they've got the home dugout there on the first base side, if I have that correct. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The offering. Change up, and that's not a good pitch there by Unrein. Stayed very high. You know, when you're up by 8, you can experiment with that, but I would do that maybe on a 0-2 or 1-2, not on a 2-2. Now it's 3-2, and the pitch, and that is right down the middle for a strike. It doesn't phase Mason Unrein as she strikes out Hayden Peebles, her 4th strikeout over the first 5 batters she's faced. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Now they're taking pitches that are right down the center of the plate. Layla Pyatt struck out swinging and grounded out to short. And the pitch. Changeup is right there for a strike. That's a good one there, thrown by Mason Unrein to begin this hitter. Bay Digger pitchers have retired 9 in a row. Unrein looks in, and the offering. Swung on and fouled straight back, and the count goes to 0-2. 2:30 scheduled start for the regional championship game. 8 teams to make it to the state tournament, including 1 out of this region. Eaton University, Lutheran, those are some of the hosts. Sterling today on 105.7 KPMX and KPMX.com. And that is, just a little bit inside and low. That was close. To Layla Pyatt, no balls and 2 strikes with the bases empty. Unrein looks in. And the pitch, very high. Ball 2, strike 2. 2 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. The Bee Diggers are looking for their 3rd in a row. Caleb Peters is on deck. Swing and a miss, and Mason Unrein strikes out the side in the 5th inning. 4.5 complete in this regional semifinal. Brush needs 2 runs to end this game in 5. They lead James Irwin 10-2 on 1010 KSLR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Here we go. The Bee Diggers need 2 runs to end this thing in the bottom of the 5th inning in Strasburg. It's a 10-2 lead for Brush. As they lead James Irwin, the Bee Diggers have played very clean defensively. James Irwin had 6 errors in the 1st inning. That's been the difference in this game. Unable to field some routine plays as well. Brush is sending up the top of the order. That makes it even more difficult for James Irwin to deny Brush of scoring at least a couple of runs or at least 1 run. Lefever's been on base 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. Lefever, Rule, and Holdren to end this thing and send the Bee Diggers to the regional final. Both base hits were right down the right field line. Against Sierra Finn, the right-hander delivers. Upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. James Irwin has not scored since the 2nd inning. Brush has scored in every frame. Lefever looking for her 4th time on base in this game, and the 1-0. That's upstairs. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Sierra Finn is 83 pitches deep. Wind kicking up, blowing a little bit in center field. 2-0 to Lefever. The sophomore awaits. That's high. And she's got a lot of speed, so once she gets on base, it's essentially a double. 3 balls and no strikes on Avery Lefever, and the pitch. That is right there for a strike on the outer half. It's 3-1. Yeah, the Bee Diggers wouldn't have to bat more than 3 in the inning, you would think, to score a couple of runs with the way they run the bases. And the 3-1 swung on and fouled straight back. It was down the middle at the knees. It's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Avery Lefever to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Sierra Finn trying to come back from a 3-0 hole here to this hitter. Pritchard lays down the sign and the pitch, and that is taken for a ball away. And Lefever's on base for 4th consecutive time. And here is Braylon Rule, who's popped out twice, and then a board on an error. And let's see if we have some sort of change here as Lefever's at first base, but Tom Odell's at the plate. We might have a courtesy runner, and we will. Courtesy runner for Brush. I don't know if that's Sarah Becker. Let's see. Let's look at the lineup because I'm getting a different number here.
Number 5, freshman Sarah Becker.
Yep, that is Becker at first base. 0 for 3 is Braylon Rule. A couple of pop-ups, and she also, as I mentioned, a board on an air. And squaring the bunt and takes it in the dirt. And to second is Becker. She hesitated for some reason. It is a steal, but you don't run the bases like that. You got to go full circle there. Yeah, that was very odd. It's almost like she was starting to hold up 3/4 into the jog to second. 1 ball and no strikes. Braylon Rule awaits. She can end it with a home run. Low, 2-0. Rule has an inside the Parker this year against Resurrection Christian. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch. That is below the knees. 3-0, and Harley Holdren waits to hit next. 2:30 scheduled start, but it could be earlier. This game started about 5 minutes early. And a 3-0 offering. Down the middle. Strike 1. 3-1 to Braylon Rule. Lefever led off with a walk, her 4th time on base. Becker running for her is at second. The pitch very high, and Braylon Rule walks. 1st and 2nd, and now Harley Holdren is due. She struck out, lined to 3rd, and grounded to 3rd.
For Brush, left fielder, senior number 2, Harley Holdren.
And she's been out in front. She's got to wait a little bit. Out in front of a couple of those pitches. Looking to end it here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brush leads 10-2. The pitch on the inner half for a strike. Nice pitch there by Sierra Finn. That was her 93rd of the game. No balls and one strike. Pritchard again lays down the sign and the offering, squaring to bunt, and she pops it up the third base side. It is foul. Just about a foot and a half down the third base line. And now it's no balls and two strikes. Here to Harley Holdren, Mason Unrein is in the on-deck circle. Sierra Finn comes home. Changeup is up and away. Throw back to first and back in standing is Rule. She is the game-ending run at first base. 2 on, nobody out, bottom of the fifth inning. The Bee Diggers are up by 8 in this regional softball semifinal. The pitch swung on and lifted into deep right field. That's got plenty of carry, and that one's going to sail over the head of Quinones. Around third is Becker. Becker's going to score. Braylon Rule is right behind her. She will score. It's going to be a 2-run game-ending triple for Harley Holdren, and the Bee Diggers are in the regional championship game as they defeat James Irwin by a score of 12-2.
Ball game, guys. We got a 10-run rule after 5 innings. Congratulations to the Brush Bee Diggers.
So the Bee Diggers win for the 14th time this season. We will take a break.
Jaguars making the trip up here from Colorado Springs. Good season, girls.
And we'll have a recap of this regional semifinal won by the Bee Diggers over the James Irwin Jaguars, 12-2 in 5 innings on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Brush Bee Diggers in the Strasbourg.
Bee Digger postgame show is brought to you by Stubbs Gas and Oil. Easy and convenient makes them the only stop you need on your way to the big game. That is Stubbs Gas and Oil. In 1 hour and 23 minutes, the Bee Diggers end James Irwin's season as the 11 beats the 22, 12-2 in 5 innings, 12 runs, 9 hits, no errors, 6 left on base for Brush, 2 runs, 3 hits, 8 errors. That's right, 8 errors and 5 left on base for James Irwin. The winning pitcher was Braylon Rule. She went 3 innings. Mason Unrein retired all 6 hitters she faced, and she struck out 5 of those. The loss went to Sierra Finn. James Irwin actually got on the board first. A bases-loaded walk is what got the first run across, as Braylon Rule had control issues in the top of the first inning. And that bases-loaded walk went to Nevin Pritchard, scoring Sierra Finn. It was 1-0. But then the Bee Diggers really didn't have to do a ton. In the bottom of the first inning, when they scored 5 runs, there were 6 errors committed. And in fact, all of those runs were scored. Well, they were all unearned runs, I should say. But errors on virtually every ball that was put in play. Yeah, every single one. There was a wild pitch that scored a run. The other 4 were via the air. Now, the Bee Diggers did earn the runs in the second inning after James Irwin made it 5-2 on Hayden Peebles' RBI single. They had two RBI base hits, one from Mason Unrein, one from Carly Tatalini to make it 7-2. Then Brush would extend the lead to 8-2 when Braylon Rule reached on an air scoring Risa Lambert. And then it went from 8-2 straight to 10-2. Amaya Bruno was able to reach on an air. Keeley Langford did have an RBI single prior to that in the 4th inning. And then Brush would put it away at a 2-run triple. I was going to say a 2-out, but there were no outs. A 2-run triple by Harley Holdren in the bottom of the 5th inning. Scored both Sarah Becker and Braylon Rule, and that ended the game. James Irwin done with a 12-10 record, and the Bee Diggers are now 14-10. Let's look ahead here to this regional championship game against Strasbourg before we take a break. There'll be a short break. I heard it could be a 2 o'clock start. We'll get confirmation on that because Brush is already warmed up. It's Strasbourg that has to get re-warmed, so to speak. But James Irwin is still cleaning out their dugout. And they're all huddled into left field. They are realigning this field as well, but it will not start at 2:30. It'll go prior to that to get us out of here a little bit early. As Strasbourg won their game today as the 6th seed eliminated the 27th seed Alamosa by a 12-0 score. So this was the anticipated matchup. This was very much an anticipated matchup between Strasbourg and Brush, their 3rd meeting of the season. the home team won each meeting, and there were two completely different type of games. I mean, in one game there were 2 runs combined. The other game there were 19 runs combined. That was the Brush win. So, yeah, James Irwin is still in left field. And I don't know if they've completely cleaned out that dugout. I doubt it, but I'm wondering why. Normally you would clear that dugout fairly quickly, especially knowing there's another game to take place. Yeah, I guess the Bee Diggers will remain in the first base dugout. Not that it matters to anybody listening, but where it does matter is if there is a delay in exiting a dugout, then it delays the start of the regional championship game. After both teams scored 12 runs, 12 by Strasburg and a 12-0 victory over Alamosa, 12 by the Bee Diggers and a 12-2 victory over James Irwin. Let's see if we can pull up some other scores around the state today. You know, we do have a couple of reliable sources that I'm going to hopefully be able to find here. Yeah, Legacy beat Heritage 8-7, but I'm looking for something in this classification. Severance over Northfield 7-1. The Bee Diggers lost to Severance 7-0 earlier this year. And a lot of 5A and 4A scores are coming in. Rocky Ford eliminated Lions. Bee Diggers went 2-0 against Lions this season, 7-0. And obviously those are separate regionals. And all of these scores coming in are from the early portion today. University in a regional championship game in Greeley, they defeated Sierra 11-1. Sterling over Burlington 13-2. I believe they're facing Weld Central in that regional title game on 105.7 KPMX, KPMX.com, and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Yeah, you would assume that all the favorites, especially in 3A, won because there's a big disparity between playing in the Patriot League versus the other leagues. In fact, let's look at the softball brackets. In Region 1, Lutheran, the top seed, defeated the 32nd seed Sand Creek 15-0. They're going to face either the 16th seed Wiley or the 17th seed Peak to Peak. The 9th seed Montezuma Cortez will take on the 8th seed Lamar in that 3A regional championship from Lamar. Montezuma shut out the 24th seed Arvada 17-0, and Lamar ended Holyoke season. The 8 beat the 25, 11-4. Apparently Sterling is still awaiting the winner, but I would assume Weld Central, the higher seed, would win that game, but you never know. That's a 13 against a 20, and the 20 being the Valley Vikings. Sterling was 2-0 against Valley this season. In Region 4, the 12th seed, the Academy, got by the 21st seed Ray 4-3, while the 5th seed La Junta was a winner over the 28th seed Gunnison 12-1. Region number 5, 2nd seed Eaton had no trouble with the 11th seed Cedar Ridge, 15-0. We mentioned Rocky Ford over Lions 7-0, so Eaton playing Rocky Ford. That's a 2 versus 18 matchup with the defending state champions as the host there. The 10 seed Port Lupton defeated the 23rd seed Delta 9-3, and they will play either Lyman or Dolores Huerta Prep. That game is ongoing. Lyman is the 7th seed in the host school. In 3A Region 7, we mentioned University's victory over Sierra. University will face either Meeker, the 14th seed, or the 19th seed Faith Christian. And then in Region 8, my wife is texting me. I guess she doesn't realize that I'm here. She does, but I don't know why. Anyway, and then this is Region 8, and that game got updated very quickly online. It's a good job for those operating from here as the Bee Diggers are getting ready to take on the Strasbourg Indians. Now, they met back on September 4th in Strasbourg, and the Bee Diggers lost that game 2-0. The runs were scored early on, and I think it was just one base hit, if I remember correctly. Let's go back to that September 4th game. Strasbourg scored 2 runs, and that came in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And the first run was a Kaylee Rushman RBI single, and then Aubrey Archuleta had an RBI ground out. The second game was just a wild affair. Strasburg had a 7-3 lead in Brush on September 28th. Then all of a sudden, the defense collapsed. They committed 4 errors in an inning. The Bee Diggers scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th and 7 in the 6th, and rallied to win that game by a score of 12-7. You never know what happens. We know that Heidi Price is a money pitcher here for Strasburg, and the Bee Diggers need the performance. If Mason Unrein's going to take the circle, she'll need to pitch very similar to what she did on September the 4th, because that was one of the best outings by any Bee Digger this season.
Christian Bauer.
Unrein in that game won 6 innings, 111 pitches, allowed just 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. She did walk 4. And that was the only bugaboo for Unrein, but she was really effective in that game. But the Bee Diggers went down 2-0, but they did get redemption 24 days later. But none of those games were for the season. This game is for the entire season. So the Bee Diggers can come out with a victory here, then they would, I believe, reseed. And then you talk about the state tournament beginning on Friday from Aurora. The Bee Diggers were there 1 year ago, making it into the semifinals under a different format because it was a 16-team field to begin the playoffs as opposed to this 32-team field for the regionals. Yeah, 24 teams are going home today. That's why this is so critical for Brush. And this was not a team at the beginning of the year. I mean, if you saw the game that the Bee Diggers played against University when they lost that game 13-1, there were holes everywhere. In the lineup, defensively, we didn't know if pitching would hold up. Pitching has been better this year than a year ago, more consistent. Braylon Rule was only a sophomore last year, and she was battling. But this year, pitching has been one heck of a lot better. And as a result, the Bee Diggers are in the position they're in here for the regional championship, which essentially means they're a top 16 team, but they'd love to be a top 8 team. And to be a top 8 team, you've got to beat Strasbourg. And this draw could not have been any better. It could not have been any better. And I say that because you could have been playing in Eaton. They're 2-0 against you. You could have been playing at University. They're 2-0 against you. You could have been playing in Lyman. They defeated Brush this year in a close game 3-1. Lutheran did not play Brush this year, but that is a very difficult foe to deal with. Lamar, another one that's tough, an 8 seed. So it would have been something had the Bee Diggers landed in another regional, but it's all in the numbers. And one is a 6 and the other is an 11. And the Bee Diggers are certainly not complaining. They didn't have to travel far. I mean, after all, Alamosa had to come here to play Strasbourg, and they were done 12-0 very quickly. So the one-way trip was longer than just the game itself, let alone a two-way trip or a round trip. And then James Irwin, based in Colorado Springs, had to make not too bad. Heard from Strasbourg to CS, or just CS, I should say. It's not Colorado Springs Christian. But they were done pretty quickly as they're watering the field right now. We were told maybe a 2 o'clock start, but right now we are sitting at 1:52 Mountain Time. And I have a feeling it could be a little bit later on than that. And obviously James Irwin has cleared out their dugout, but I have not seen Strasbourg warm up yet. And again, the field is being watered down. They want to make sure this field is in top-notch condition for this regional title game. It's a gorgeous softball field, 210 down the lines and straight away. You would think that's like a straight line. But somehow they've managed it into a circle with the dimensions at 210 here in Strasbourg. This was a school that was winning state championships several years ago. They played Brush in the semifinals in Aurora, and Strasbourg won that game going away. That's where the Indians were at another level. They're still at a solid level now. But pretty much like Brush, they wouldn't be considered a state title contender. They're considered a state contender in terms of making the tournament. but not a state title contender. Your state title contenders are pretty clear right now. University and Eaton and Lutheran. Those are the guys that you got to deal with. And for the winner of this game, they've got to have confidence they can stay with those teams. Case in point, as during the regular season, especially Brush has got to have the confidence that they can play with one of the upper echelon teams from the Patriot League. When Brush played Eaton this year, they lost 13-0 and 10-0. When they played University this year, they lost it in Greeley 13-1 and also fell by a score of 11-1. I mean, that doesn't tell you that the B-Diggers could even compete with either of those two teams. They would have to have a monumentally better performance.
A really nice job out there.
In fact, they've been outscored
We've had to rain
47-2 in those 4 games. You would think that just based on those numbers, Strasbourg would certainly have a more competitive shot as they're 16-8 going into the game. Strasbourg, let's see, checking out those games against Eaton and University. Let's see, they won 10-7. They actually beat Eaton, but that was before Sadie Ross came back. And then once Ross was back, it was an 8-0 Eaton victory. And then Sterling. Okay, I'm back with. I believe I'm back with you. Yeah, I'm back with you here. So anyway, you look at Strasbourg, and they were 1-1 against Eaton, but again, Sadie Ross was not healthy for that first game. Then they lost to University 10-7, and the other meeting against University was 5-2. So there is no doubt, there's simply no doubt that Strasbourg has been the more competitive team against the upper echelon teams in the Patriot League as opposed to the Brush B-Diggers. As they continue to tend the field, and the B-Diggers and Strasbourg Indians will throw this first pitch coming up here. Let's see, we're figuring as we are near the top of the hour, it's 1:56 Mountain Time. This is 1010 KSLR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Weldona, and KSLR.com. Also on the TuneIn app. Okay, we're going to go to a feature here momentarily. And hopefully this is a self-contained feature with former Brush B-Digger basketball player Greg Wagers. This is back from 1969. We'll take a break. We'll get to that. We'll get to our starting lineup. And then the regional championship game is coming up between Brush and Strasbourg in Strasbourg on 1010 KSLR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.